Tuesday, September 14th, edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I am meteorologist Matthew East here in the Weather on the One's Forecast Center early on our Tuesday morning, and very quiet pattern continuing across our region. Now there are some areas of activity across the country. I'll show you that. Plus, we'll take a detailed look at the goings-on in the tropics as today's video unfolds. Let's begin with the radar across the lower 48. No rain anywhere across our area. But you go off into the Plain States, and pretty active day yesterday with some severe weather in that region. Still some pretty big storms even at this early morning hour. And again, it'll be the Plain States as a whole under the gun from severe weather today. Let me show you the temperatures right now, and notice you have that sort of sliver of warmth, and I'll show you the humidity or the dew points here in just a moment, up into the southern plains, fueling those thunderstorms. But here's the dew point temperatures. And again, moist in the Plain States, but still very, very dry air mass all across the central and the eastern part of the country. I think most of our region will continue to see some upper 40s and low 50s for afternoon dew points, meaning very low levels of humidity. With the ground pretty dry, you need to be very, very careful with any outdoor burning. Probably best to avoid that altogether, as it continues to be overall pretty dry across the region. Some areas drier than others, but everybody relatively dry. This is the upper air chart for today. Close enough to a zonal flow across the lower 48. Some ridging here across the nation's midsection. That's where the warmth is. Some troughing in the eastern part of the country. Nothing overly substantial. Look what happens, though, as we go Thursday night into Friday. Pretty potent storm system scoots off to our north, and normally with a short wave that close to us, we get a pretty good chance for rain. But it's just not going to happen this time around. The air too dry, the upper level jet situated a little too far north, and so we're going to wind up with maybe just an increase in clouds late Thursday and early Friday. That's about it. And as we get into early next week, this is Monday evening, some ridging will again develop across the region. But you got to remember, this is going to be the mid to late September version of ridging, so you're not talking any type of triple-digit heat, but more like low 90s in spots, but still very dry in terms of humidity early next week. So let's get into the modeling. This is today, and we'll see a lot of sunshine, highs upper 80s to lower 90s across the Piedmont. Tomorrow, probably low 90s in most Piedmont spots. Lots of sunshine continuing. There comes that storm system. This is Thursday in the afternoon. Pretty good outbreak of storms, a possibility with that storm system to our north, but again, the energy just focused a little too far north and the air a little too dry. So all we'll see is some clouds increasing late Thursday, ending and exiting early Friday, and that will be about it. The rain chance, while not zero, looks very, very small across our area. Right-hand part of your screen, that's Igor. And you can kind of see what the GFS does with that. It'll keep it off of the coast of the United States, but still it's like a problem for Bermuda, most likely. Again, I'll talk more about Igor in just a second. For our weekend forecast, looks great. Saturday and Sunday, highs in the 80s, lots of sun, low levels of humidity. Then we probably bump up toward the low 90s as we get into Monday and especially Tuesday of next work week. All right. In the tropics, actually this is a little bit of a dated graphic. As of the 5 a.m. advisory, Julia now a hurricane as well. So Igor and Julia are hurricanes. There's Igor, very, very healthy looking, pretty wide eye. Igor certainly a powerful hurricane. As of the 5 a.m. advisory, 135 mile per hour sustained winds. And Igor is just a huge system covering a lot of real estate there in the western Atlantic Ocean. And let me go back to this map here. You can see just how expansive Igor is. Pretty big in size and intensity, of course. And Igor is going to continue to head off to the west-northwest and then eventually northwest. I didn't put the spaghetti charts on here, but I'll kind of demonstrate it here on this chart. The model is really fairly tightly clustered on a motion somewhere in that area. There's Bermuda, and it looks like Igor is still past very close to Bermuda. Igor probably will fluctuate in intensity over the next couple of days, but should remain a powerful hurricane. All right, there's Julia, newly upgraded Hurricane Julia. But Julia is going to be a fish storm. It's going to head off to the northwest and probably stay in the open waters of the Atlantic. Wanted to show you this. We're still watching our area down in the Caribbean Sea. You see the Hurricane Center had that area circled. Still is an area of possible development. Some of the modeling still does crank that, but it stays in a fairly south trajectory, probably crossing the Yucatan into the Bay of Campeche, then into Mexico. So anything that can develop stays way south with that one. I wanted to show you this. This is the Canadian model out at 144 hours. And let me kind of show you what's happening. This is Igor. This is Julia, and then this is the system the Canadian cranks behind Julia. So it looks like the Atlantic as a whole staying very active, but at least thus far, the upper air pattern, not conducive for bringing any of these systems to the east coast of the U.S. We'll see how long that can hold out, but at least for the time being, the United States looking okay in the tropical weather department. All right, that is it for this Tuesday edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you for checking in. Have a great day, and God bless.